I recall very well your application essay, yeah, coming from um, you know, finance function in big investment bulge bracket bank. Um, your goal was impact investing and it
Mm-hmm.
had a very social focus. And we chatted the other day at lunch about this, like how you still have that passion and how you're finding ways, even now, doing fintech related venture capital in that space that you're in to have a sort of socially oriented perspective about things. Tell us more about that.
Mm. Yeah, so impact investing, it's definitely it's also written in my essay and my career goal pre MBA, and it's not something that I took it lightly. Not just for the essay purpose, and I was really really seriously passionate about that. I'm still passionate about that and about like the impact and how to connect the traditional financial services with more um the like sustainability concept. So what I did during my MBA, I'm going to share with you like what I did during MBA to further uh well find a concrete goal for that purpose, and also how my career pivoted a little by little throughout those experiences. So the first year after joining MBA, I also applied and joined my Columbia, which is a student-run impact fund in Columbia Business School.
Mm.
So I was a VP of investment there, and helped sourcing and investing in, well, it's very small ticket size because it's a student organization, but was also very hands-on and involved in the real life investing experience there. And my Columbia, just for everybody's background, it's a impact fund that that's run by Columbia Business School students and can invest in emerging markets, especially with the theme of financial inclusion around the world. So I was involved in that organization and also took a lot of classes uh, associated with social entrepreneurship, impact investing. And I'm sure if you search online, you will see a lot of these courses from Columbia Business School's course directory. So I took a lot of courses there. And actually, during my summer internship, 2019, I also interned at Axion Venture Lab, which is, I would say, it's a prominent impact investor, seed stage, very early stage focused. But I think in the impact investing industry, it's a very well known and with great reputation. So I interned there for the summer, and then the the second part of my summer, I went to its portfolio company, which is also a fintech startup based out of Poland. Um,
Mm.
so building out a new office for that fintech startup. So that really, I think, particularly that summer internship experiences really opened me up to see what's really happening in the impact investing world. Um, where are they looking at? What are the challenges? Who are their LPs, meaning their sponsors, and where this industry is going. Um, just I think all the questions I had before. It's not just before entering, before going to MBA. What I wrote on the essays, like through my research or through my interviews with other professionals, but being actually immersed in the industry as an investor, it's another different level. And I felt throughout that, I found out that impact investing, well, just what I thought, what all I said is really just my personal takeaways, and personal from my personal experiences. But I felt, I do believe the whole world now looked at impact investing in a very niche ways, like, oh, a bunch of like, ex NGO people who are trying to do some philanthropy through investing. And also they mostly invest in emerging markets or the frontier markets, not in the not like in countries like Japan or the US. So so because of that perception, I would say the asset under management or the actual capital owned by the impact investors very, 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 very small compared to the traditional or commercial venture capital industry. And hence, as a result, the capital going out from those impact investors to fund the social, entrepreneurs or the social impact related startups are also very, very small. But on the other hand, I do feel I did see there's a convergence between, what's traditional defined as impact investor and the traditional commercial VC. And you see nowadays, even for traditional or commercial VCs, they have the mandate to be, say, ESG compliant or be a signatory of the UN SDG goals, all those things like that. Not just VC, but PE programs, but PE firms as well. While for impact investors, they also, they're not just looking for impactors or mission driven, but also, can this startup actually scale up? Does that have the financial independence to maintain itself without, getting just money injected from the impact investor? So they're being more commercial minded driven. And then a lot of impact investors nowadays, they come from commercial VC background. And they also, a lot of times, they do co-investment with the commercial or traditional VC. So you definitely see there's a trend of the convergence between the two traditionally separate, streams or worlds. And I felt even within this current VC that I'm working with, a lot of discussions are around ESG, about how we support more female founders, and all those topics about that. So I felt back to the question, how my thoughts have pivoted, or how that's related back to my original thesis in the essay. It has fundamentally has not really changed. It's about impact. It's about how you change the world with capital. But then also, after experiencing the impact investing industry, as well as in the startup operating side, I felt my role right now in a more, similarly a traditional VC industry is to bridge the gap in between, and also be an advocate for more impact in this traditionally profit-driven industry. Meaning, examples like supporting more female founders, for example, and pushing for ESG compliance for our portfolio companies or the other VC firms in the industry. So I think there are a lot of things you can do, and a lot of white space to be filled in this impacting investing world, no matter from the impact, like the traditional, the narrow defined impact investing angle, or from a traditional industry or corporate angle.
Did you ever consider private equity, or not interested?
So private equity, I did think about it. And actually, during my summer internships, I applied for some private equity firms. And also got to a pretty late stage of the interview process. And I feel, although nowadays private equity and VC, they're like blurred lines in between. But I just felt in the VC ecosystem, I feel like VC is more of a fit for me in terms of my my personality in terms of like the work style, like and how I felt about the mission as a VC. So it's really personal, but I just feel VC is a more suitable career for me.